Hey there everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm your host Rama, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the original apartment heists in Grand Theft Auto Online. And that's because this week in Grand Theft Auto Online, Rockstar is offering double money payouts on all of them. That means heists like the Pacific Standard go from around 1.8 million to 3.75 million on a payout. But is it worth your time and effort? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be diving into in today's video. As always, if you enjoy this type of content and you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. At the end of the day, I'm trying to give you guys the most relevant information for grinding or news in Grand Theft Auto Online. I'll also be talking about all of the first-time bonuses and payouts that you might not have even known about. Like, for example, did you know that each heist finale you complete in first person will give you a $100,000 cash bonus? A lot of people don't know that, but it is an interesting fact. With that being said, let's get straight into it. First of all, a warning, you need 4 people to do these heists. You can't do them with 2. You can't do it solo like the Cayo Perico heist. To complete the original apartment heists, you need 4 people. My recommendation, if you are really wanting to try and mess around with these heists, is I have a Discord server, link in the description down below. And if you're looking for like-minded people that you're trying to grind this heist with, you can always join my Discord server. I have a whole channel dedicated for people that are also trying to find help when it comes to these heists. That's as much help as I can probably offer, though, because I will say, unless you have a whole squad of 4 people that you're already comfortable playing with, it's definitely going to be a bit challenging to find 4 people you trust when obviously doing these heists, so that's really the best bet you're going to be working with. Also, when it comes to today's video, I've got a little bit of help here. I've got my gecko with me. It's a little cold in my room, so yeah, I figured I should bring my gecko with me because warm him up a little bit while we're doing today's video. So we're going to talk about the payouts, the double money, and all the completion bonuses you're going to get for first time and the other bonuses that you'll receive as well. So we have the Fleeca Job to start off with. The Fleeca Job is the only of the 5 heists that you can do with 2 people, which is quite nice. I think there's only like 1 or 2 setups as well for the Fleeca Job. My gecko just peed on me. Bro. Bro. No. Well, I guess I'm taking a shower after today's video's done being recorded. I mean, you're still a cute little goober, but, I can't believe you just peed on me. Alright, well, oh well. Oh, no, okay. This is what happens anytime I try recording a video, just absolute disaster. Alright, I think it's the best that I put my gecko away so I don't get number 1, number 2'd on, or number 3'd. And with that being said, let's get straight back into the video. I'm going to try and make this as short and concise as possible because I don't want to waste your time, alright? So let's start off with the bonus payments that you can get for all of these heists, for first time completion, all of that. So each heist finale that you complete will give you a $100,000 bonus if you have not done them previously. So that's your first time completion bonus. In total, there's 5 heists, so you can make an additional $500,000. You also have the first person bonus. If you do these heist finales in first person, you will make an additional $100,000. It's a tricky one. The host has to set it locked to first person when you start it. But yeah, you can make an additional 100K there, so that's another $500,000. You have the loyalty bonus, meaning that you've done all 5 of these heists with the same crew. That's $1 million. And then you have the all-in-order bonus, meaning that you did not cancel any of the heists halfway through and do somebody else's. That's another $1 million bonus. If you add all of those up, you have $4 million in potential bonuses this week. Plus, if you do the weekly challenge, which is complete any 2 heist finales, you'll make another $100,000. So $4.1 million in bonuses in total. That's a lot of extra money, and it's definitely going to be worth your time if you're a first-time player of any of these OG heists. There's also the Criminal Mastermind Challenge, which is a $10 million payout, but for most people, I wouldn't really recommend this. Not only do you have to do all of the heists with the same crew, but you have to do all of them on hard mode, and if anybody dies, the challenge is immediately void, and you'd have to start all the way back at the beginning. So keep that in mind. There are ways to circumvent it if you close your game at certain times, unplug your Ethernet, whatever it is. There are ways to reset it, but at the end of the day, it's a very hard challenge, and I only recommend that for people that are very, very dedicated. With that being said, let's get straight into it and start off with the Fleeca Job and then move down the rest. So the Fleeca Job is the only of the finales and setups that requires only 2 people. That's why it's my favorite of the bunch. It's very easy to do, only takes about 30 minutes of time, and is going to give you a $503 payout. Now, because it's only 2 people and because there's barely any setups, I usually recommend to just split it 50-50. So you're going to be making $503,000 divided by 2, $250,000 this week. If you add on the first person bonus and the first time completion bonus, that's an additional $200,000. So you can make like $450,000 on your first completion. Not bad at all. It's very easy to do. As I said, it's like 30 minutes of work. So I would definitely recommend to try out the Fleeca Job. Plus, it gives you the discount trade price on the Armored Kuruma. I think it goes from $700,000 to $525,000. That's a really good deal, and I would highly recommend to take advantage of that. The Prison Break is the first heist that is 4 people requiring. Now, when it comes to the payouts on the finales of the 4 people heists, my recommendation is to take 40% of the cut and subtract, that means 5% from the 3 players on your team. The reason why I'm saying this is simply down to the fact that you do not get paid for the setups. They do. If you actually even the math out, they're getting, there's 3 setups, 4 setups for some of these heists. I think maybe the Pacific Standard even has 5. So the people you're playing with are getting like 50, 60K each setup. You're getting none of that. So if you actually even the math out, I think taking 40% and then subtracting 5% from each of your squad mates is fair, especially because you're the one hosting it. You're the one paying for the heist itself. So if they want to argue with you, just tell them that they're getting paid for the setups. You're not. It's only fair that you get to make some extra cash somewhere else as well. And that is definitely the case. So for the Prison Break, if you're getting a 40% cut on ×2 hard mode money, it is a $700,000 payment into your pocket. And that's because the Prison Break base is $1.75 million. So yeah, you're making $700,000. Once again, if you add on the first time bonus and the first person bonus, that's a $900,000 payment. And because this will be your second heist finale completed, you'll get a $100,000 bonus with the weekly challenge. So you'll actually make about $1 million on the Prison Break. That's not bad. It's about an hour and a half of work to set this up and do the finale. So it does take a bit of time, but you're making good money, right? It's $1 million. That's not bad at all. And I would definitely recommend to mess around with the Prison Break, especially because it's a very fun heist. That's the best thing about all of these OG heists is they are still some of the most fun ways to earn money in the game. So even if the payouts aren't as high as, the Cayo Perico heist hourly, they're still very fun. And if you have a group of people, there's really no, there's no reason to get salty about the little bit less payouts. We have the Humane Labs raid, which is a $945,000 payout with a 40% take, and that's because the base payout on ×2 money hard mode is $2,362,500. So if you're making $945,000, adding on an additional $200K once again for those bonuses, that means you can make upwards of $1.15 million. That's not bad at all. $1,100,000, and again, it's going to be about an hour and a half of work for the Humane Labs setups. So in general, pretty easy stuff, and it's a decent payout. We have the Series A funding, which, believe it or not, is actually less money. The Humane Labs raid is $2.36 million. The Series A funding is a total payout of $1.8 million, which means that with a 40% cut, you're getting $707,000. Now, it is faster and easier to do the setups, but I'm not really sure why Rockstar decided to give you less money. So in general, it's still decent. You're going to make $900,000 in total with the 2 bonus payouts, but yeah, nothing crazy for the Series A funding. And then that brings us to the final finale, which is the Pacific Standard, which is a $3.75 million payout divided by, the 40% payout you're getting. That is a $1.5 million payout for the Pacific Standard heist. Once again, if you have those extra bonuses, if you do the All in Order and Loyalty, that's $2 million extra. So that's actually a $3.5 million payout. And then if you have the additional $200K, you're looking at like $3.7 million in payout for the Pacific Standard. That's a lot of money. So if we add up all of these heists in total, I'm going to pull out a calculator really quickly. So we have, $250,000 for the first. And then I'll add in the bonus payouts after. So we have $250,000 for the first. We have $700,000 for the second. We have $945,000 for the third, which is the Humane Labs. We have $707,000 for the Series A funding. And then we finish off with $1.5 million for the Pacific Standard. So that alone is already $4 million in profits. But then we have to add on the bonuses, right? So we have $500,000 extra for the first time completion bonus. We have 1 million extra for the all-in order bonus. And then we also have 1 million extra for the loyalty bonus. So that means in total you can make $6,600,000 for completing all of these with the same crew in order from start to finish with the bonuses. That's pretty good payout. And if you do them all in first person, which will definitely be a bit more challenging, you can actually get an additional $500,000, so closer to 7 million. If we divide that by the, I would say, 5 hours, you're actually earning around $1.4-ish million an hour of work. So if you're a first-time completionist and you have a crew of people that are willing to help you and stick with these heists, I would say that this is definitely worth the time. They are really fun, they pay a decent amount of money with the bonuses, and with times 2 money, I would legitimately say that they are worth the time and effort. So you can let me know your personal feelings, comments, and opinions down below. But either way, I do think that these are worth the time and money. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!